Hey YouTube, this is Dr. Wanda. It's been a while since I just set up and cut my camera on and talked to you all as subscribers or just as a general audience. I'm in an interesting season, a lot has gone on, and I'd like to just take the time to give you a few updates and reflect on uh, probably some interesting things that's ahead of me. Well, one thing I posted recently is about the community dogs, and you know that the dog gave birth, and it was in our vestibule, and you know we was kind of loving on the dogs, and not a very active, joyful puppies. There were two that took over my heart. That was Rocky. That was the dog that was stepped on by Isaac. We thought it died that night. Then it was partially ran over by the car. Well, Rocky has made a complete recovery. She walks a little interesting, but she does rock and play and enjoy her siblings. She has done a 360. She's earned that name. Okay, she definitely is the eye of the tiger. She's the thrill of the fight. Okay. Um, it took me a minute to recover from Lumpy because Lumpy died, and Lumpy died as a result of she was already weak. She was getting better. I was taking them to the vet. The vet had actually given her a shot of iron to give her more energy. I made sure they had their glucose water. I was getting a puppy chow for them because these community dogs are like scavenger dogs. They just eat whatever people scraps they find. And we had a really, really bad rain. And I was out, and they sleep in the little open area, and she just didn't cover herself well. So when I got back, she was just exhausted from the water. I don't know if it filled her lungs or what. I dried her off, I wrapped her up, and the neighbors who the mother dog belongs to, as the driver was leaving, he said, "Where were you all at? Lumpy, is weak, blah blah blah." So they asked to see her because I pretty much had wrapped her like in a bunting and was she was alive. She was weak, but looking at me. But they asked to see her, and so that wasn't uncommon. I let them see her. They kept her, and then the next morning, normally they would take her and put her back. They did not take her and put her back, and so I tried not to have anxiety. I asked Isaac. I said, "Have you seen the dog?" He said, "No." She's over there with them. Okay. So I heard them and I said, "How is Lumpy?" And the older girl, couldn't really get her words good. And then she said, Lumpy's dead. She died. So when did she die? And one, she died. They didn't say anything. Two, uh, it was just like this coldness, like, well, that's that. And I just immediately started crying. I just couldn't do anything but cry because I didn't get to say goodbye to her. I hurt that I even let them take her. And I didn't even see it as taken. I just thought they wanted to see her real quick and return her. I beat myself up because I said, this communal shit, this is for the birds. You had no business attaching your heart to this puppy. Then I had to say, no, you can't be anything but what you are. You can only be yourself. And then I just had to make peace with it. It's not very often that my husband is um, emotionally intelligent. Like sometimes some of my emotions just seem to like go over his head, like he doesn't know how to respond to it. But like when they said that dog was dead, like he immediately came over and stood with me and pet me and was just like, "Are you okay?" Because he know like I put a lot into her and I was really rooting for her as well as Rocky to have life. So um, I'm so happy. I have one little picture of her where I had her in the bowl with the shirt that I had put up there for her to be comfortable. So I do have something to hold on to memories, and I'm past the stage now I can talk about it because she's actually been dead maybe 2.5 weeks, and I didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me to even do the update. I never wanted to know where they laid her. I didn't want because this is a family that the dog has had 3 litters, And most of the puppies have died. You know, they let them get run over, they malnourish them, but they have a love for them on one hand, but the concept of caring for them beyond the very basics is just not there. So, um, yeah, I had to just make peace with it, and I just told the Lord, "Thank you for the time that I had with her," because the truth is, you know, some of this stuff takes your mind off yourself and your own injury, your own wounds. Um, and it just felt good to have a genuine, sweet, kind of pure love that's not heavy, not weighed down by a bunch of conversation or bad behavior or actions. Just, just something just because. So that's the story of Rocky and Lumpy. Rocky, I see every day. She comes forward wagging her tail and she wants to be with her siblings and romp and roll, and I'm happy to see that. I still occasionally pick up a little bit of puppy chow just to make sure that they get some nutrition. Of course, I have the shampoos that they get washed with that ward off ticks and fleas and all this stuff. And so they actually are doing, this is the first litter that I've seen this family have that actually is thriving pretty well. So, and I've learned some things about probably minding a little bit more of my own business. But she had the puppies on my space, you know what I'm saying, on my territory. Um, so that's that. Gia Boo. Gia Boo is on vacation, happily on vacation. She has been on break a week and is delighted. She is doing what every preteen or teenager does, which is that she's sleeping a lot, she's eating a lot, and she's helping me with a lot of projects. So we haven't. She's been to date. She's really been really good company. I've enjoyed her, and it's interesting the leaps you see with your children in terms of communication, what y'all talk about, what you can share, the things you can do together. So it's been nice. So we've been doing a bit of a spring cleaning, um, and I've actually enjoyed that too because one thing, because of sanitation issues, you just don't have garbage trucks that come every week, and you don't have garbage bags that get collected. So, and then I'm with a family. The tone of this family is they're a little bit of hoarders. They worry even when something's broke, they still hold on to it. And so, my husband suffers from that. It's like, no, get rid of it. If you're not going to repair it, if it's not repairable, get rid of it so that you can make space for new. So it's been nice doing that. Now I won't lie to you. I sometimes bag stuff up and put it in the car with me and take it to another community, to another rubbish dump, to make sure that he or nobody else go back and dive and try to make something of nothing. Like, it's just, there's sometimes where you just, something needs to just go in the garbage. That's it. So we're doing spring cleaning, and that's pretty nice. I'm preparing. I'm preparing for a library installation. I'm hoping I can install it in Timberley in the north. I do have the books. I do have a carpenter down there that's going to build the Wonderland structure. If I can't go north, which was the goal was on this break to experience the north. I haven't. That's where the shea butter factories are. That's where the crocodile park is. That's where you can walk with the elephants. You can meet the hippos, although the hippos are pretty mean. Um, that's where the leather tanneries and the basket weavers are. That's also where the heat is. Here is very hot. I love the mud houses. In fact, I want a mud house. And one of my biggest goals was to finally see a donkey. Now, don't ask me why I want me a pet donkey. I've been advised if I get a donkey, it should be a girl, not a boy, because when they're in heat, they're something else. So I would prefer one that's kind of miniature, and I would like to start, with it young so it sees me as a friend and, not as a foe. So, yeah, they're down there. They're in the north. So we hope to make a trip. Now, the gentleman I'm working with is a good guy. From all accounts, he put together a pretty nice touring package. I'm not really interested in touring, but he felt the need to, and it's too big for me. So all together, it's like 4 days, 5 days, 4 nights, and it's a bunch of stuff to visit and drive here and do this and that. I don't want to do all that. Um, but it came out to close to $1,200. This is like for four people. I don't want to spend $1,200. $1,200 in Africa? No, no. $1,200 you save. If it's $400, we're talking. I'll even go as high as $500. Anything over that, I'm out of it because you don't want to be in Africa with any type of accessible savings wiped out. And I said, look, the way you structure this, I'm going to be wiped out. I'm not interested. Okay. Um, I could slowly but surely save for it, but to just lay that lump sum, no. So I'm excited about this library installation, and uh, my hands are in a couple of pots. So the other pot that it's in is, my heart is. I live in Ghana, but my heart is in Tanzania. That's the Tanzanians loved me first, and that's where all my assets are. So we're just finishing building a well. We're just finishing. We at the last little parts where we were able to install the rings. We weren't able to install the rings last week because the contractors ran into a stone and extra work had to be done to break that stone, but the water's behind that stone. And so the beautiful thing about this well is that water is going to be crisp and clean and filtered. Okay, this is going to be some good water that community will have. So it's going to serve over 100 people, which is really, really beautiful. For some reason this year, God has me anchored in this water. I'm still on this water stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I like it. I'm liking it from the no, donation of water here in Ghana with trucks. But this is even more impactful to me to actually build a well, and it's my goal this year to build one more well. I don't have the financial power, the financial strength to do a borehole as of yet, but I can do the wells, and the wells are just as nice on some level, depending on location and who's going to manage the well. It's all a blessing when you don't have to get dirty water or be in an area where it's impure or have to go, walk miles to carry water. It's all a simple blessing. So I'm still working on that. Still working on water. I finally have a date, June 1st, where Gia can go. I can finally go and get her passport renewed. It expired last May. And these embassies, these dates, some of these dates, are really stretched out. I know I talked to my friend who is from Nigeria, and he said to get to that embassy, the date is extended for almost a year to have an appointment, because these are appointments. This isn't you just show up. These are appointments. So she finally has an appointment. I can take her and get her passport renewed. This is vital. I don't want to travel with her through these nations on an expired passport. Of course, she's an American citizen. If we're on a direct flight coming home, she's going to be fine. But I would like for us to go to Tanzania and have some time. I have a home there that I built. I have my chickens and my cows and my goats and my namesake. And then, not to mention my Tanzanian family. I would just like some time there before we go to the U.S. and then, eventually come back to Ghana. But I want to do that safely. I want to do that soundly. That whole virus thing, it was like the blink of an eye. We went to bed one night and we woke up and they told us don't go outside. And when you do, wash your hands and wear a mask. So if you didn't learn nothing, you should learn about how swiftly things can change and how you need to have some bounce back in that. So that's where we are with that. She has her appointment for June 1st. So people listening, pray me up that it's just smooth sailing, no complications. They just update my baby's passport, and we're able to rock and roll. Um, what else do I want to tell you? I think these are some good updates. I'm working on water, um, renewing my baby's passport in preparation for some travel. It is time. I am ready. I'm a little bit stir crazy. I'm ready for a break. I miss some people dearly, both in some other nations and at home. And Wonderland's Naturals is thriving decently. I think if, as long as I stay conservative and I keep myself anchored, I can still live off it. And well, if you have my mother, she always say, pay yourself first, take care of your bills, and then you save. So I'm sticking with what mom taught me, and it really hasn't failed me. So, um, even if I can just get to Tanzania and come back, but I do need a break. I need to come up with some air from Ghana just to feel the energy of different peoples. I don't know if it was a plus or a negative that I joined this group. And sometimes you join groups and sometimes people pull you in groups. This was one where I was kind of pulled in a group. And it just reminded me why I avoid them. Although in defense of them, I have learned a whole lot. So I want to share that talk either for Beyond the Surface radio series or another video. For now, I just wanted you to see that the doctor is happy and healthy. She's doing okay. Wanted to give you a few updates. Uh, Thank you for support that you've given me over some of these projects, and just in general. I've met some beautiful YouTube people who have reached out to me, and I've developed deeper friendships with them. I actually do value my friendships. It's interesting. We're flesh and spirit, and so some of these friendships that you develop over this virtual platform is actually, oddly sometimes stronger than people that you've known in real time. So, with that, I'm gonna sign off and be blessed.